So this is my vlog test with apparently the best vlogging lens ever for my Nikon Z30. But as you can see, or as you can't see, you need one of these. And hopefully last time I didn't. I vlogged without the mic, so now I'm going to be using my Rode Video Mic Pro. So hopefully there is a little bit less of a wind noise as well. If you were to ever get this lens as, let's say, a vlogging lens, a couple things you need to be aware of right off the bat. Yes, super fast aperture, but if you're going to be outdoors, out and about, and using this as a vlogging lens, you definitely want to pick up an ND filter. But it also depends on the camera, because I am using Z30, and with the ND filter, autofocus can be a hit or miss at times, so that's something you also need to be aware of. And the fact there is no IBIS, so you have lens, there's no even lens stabilization on this, which is another downfall. But there is electronic VR, but I don't really want to use that because it does kind of zoom in and crop in. So your best bet is to plant this somewhere. I'm using the Pixie Evo tripod right now, and this is actually a great talking head video or lens where I can literally just step back and be like, hey guys, in today's vlog we'll be talking about creativity, you know? A plop and go, not so much a run and gun, because if you actually see the dynamics of this lens, quite of a big lens to carry, a little girthy, a little heavy. So best vlogging lens ever? Visually, maybe. But we're talking about utility-wise, guys. Utility-wise. So I'm going to be walking about a little bit more. Also be aware of, if you're outdoors, the weather is always changing. You have wind, so you better have the right setup. So you can also put your ISO to auto, put my ND filter, and you're like, what's the point of getting an ND filter? Okay, I'm going to completely take it off. No ND filter whatsoever. And then you have to crank your aperture to f16, which is the max that it can go. Right? But I'd rather shoot a little faster. But so far, even with the ND filter, autofocus, especially if I'm like straight in the middle, works fine to me. If you are out and about in travel vlogging, I don't know if this is recommended because it's quite the eye gawker, quite the big lens, especially if I have my Rode Video Micro, which is a little furry on top, with my Red Evo Pixie. It's quite the big getup. So to get like a decent framing, I'd probably have to hold it like an arm's length away, and it can get snatched. Something to also be worried about if for all you backpackers out there that want to use this lens as a travel lens. But the fact that this lens is so wide, it's great for any sort of framing shots. Like this. Doop 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 doop. Welcome to my vlog, guys. And this video, we'll be talking about creativity. You know? And then you just pick her up, and bam, you're ready to talk to the world. You know, so in that sense, the wider the lens is for content creation, it pretty much suits. I can see why the 20 mil technically pretty much caters to, you know, content creators, this lens. Anyways, enough yapping. Let's do a little bit more walking and talking. I'm not going to use any electronic VR, so hopefully you don't throw up. Right now I'm filming at f4.5. ND filter set at pretty much maximum at 100 ISO. And I'm trying to not step on dog poop and bird poop. So this is the vlog test, me holding it like arm's length. This is like a foot. This is what it looked like if I were to walk a foot with it. I can much see this lens being like a plop and go. And yeah, that's my overall thoughts. My little test. I hope you guys were able to see something out of this lens here. You're looking at roughly $650 Canadian. You're looking at 500 USD for 1.4 20 millimeter lens. Great if it's like a talking head video, and as well as if you only had to upgrade one lens, there isn't much of a kit lens selection or prime lens within the Z lineup. This is it. Run and gun, I'd be a little cautious in terms of constantly exposure being changed, because unless you're shooting in completely fully automatic with the ND filter, you might have things like autofocus issues. But I'm not a vlogger though. And I don't realize how self-conscious I am, because I haven't done vlogging in public in a long time. So it's actually kind of fun, because YouTube and short form content nowadays is very different. And I think a trend or a differentiating factor nowadays is vlogging. The art of storytelling and visual storytelling that I've taken some time away from because I haven't done it in so long, but I digress. I digress, guys. So, this was my review of the Viltrox 13mm, and honestly, if I were to choose the F to Z mount, and you have to put on like a 35 to get that prime, and you still get that hunting focus, you'd rather much get something like this, which is a Viltrox 20mm. Much more faster, you know? Although it won't be as smooth in terms of the autofocus in comparison to, let's say, native Nikon Z lenses. And you also don't get IBIS or lens stabilization. It is what it is. You get one of these ND filters for it, which also hinders the autofocus a little bit more. But without this, I would not have been able to vlog out and about like that on a sunny ass day where the sun was just my horrendous enemy. You need one of these. Link in the description below if you want to check that out. And you guys let me know what y'all think of that. Best vlogging lens? I think it's a good plop and stop type of lens, but vlogging out and about, maybe, right? If this was on the Fujifilm, yeah, you know. And probably a little lower of a profile. Probably use something like this guy right here, which is the Manfrotto Evo, right here. And then I would also use something like less of a profile, like the Video Micro, or I would take off the dead cat for it. But as you can see, I'm double tapping on this. See how well I can track it. And it overrides my face detection. Right? Take that off screen. These guys should definitely sponsor me. But honestly, would I say the best budget lens? Potentially. The best ever vlogging lens for this Nikon Z30? I don't know, on the fence about it. But this was my honest, non-biased review. Solid lens for something that, you know, is third party.